So Danielle Bergoli
Catch me outside, how about that?
recently posted this on her Instagram. To all the black females that are saying my hair ain't it meant for box braids, guess the fuck what? Y'all hair ain't it meant to be straight, but y'all glue whole wigs onto your heads and sew Brazilian, Indian, Peruvian hair, which is anything like your natural hair texture at all, and I don't say a goddamn thing, neither do the other cultures that you got the hair from. And on top of that, I'm not one of the people who has ever made fun of or said anything bad about girls with box braids or any type of braids. I completely agree that would be out of line and cultural appropriation if I was trashing black girls for wearing braids, them getting them, but that's not the situation at all, so leave me the F alone or I'ma start getting real disrespectful. Okay, Danielle, and those of you who may not know as well, I'm going to give you a brief history lesson. There are ancient stone paintings showing North African women with cornrows dating back thousands of years. Going back as far as we can, braids were a fashion statement, but also represented societal customs in specific regions of Africa. A specific look could indicate the clan you belong to, your marital status, or your age. These hairstyles were passed down from grandmother to mother to daughter.
We found a statue from 500 BC Nigeria where the hair was cornrowed. And we found this whole world of weaves that were not called that, using all these materials in different societies throughout West Africa. It's almost like your social security number, meaning you could look at someone's hairstyle and you could determine where they're from, what their status is in the society, if they're married, if they're single, if they're a widow, if they're a warrior, if they used to be a soldier. The richer someone was in a society, the more fanciful their hair was.
During slavery, a goal of slave owners was to erase African history and identity to make it easier to control the slaves. Traffickers in Africa, as well as slave owners, would shave the heads of women to take away their dignity and culture. During slavery, the African people were just trying to survive, just to get to the next day. So they didn't have time to be braiding their hair as intricately and as traditionally as they did back in Africa.
During slavery, Sunday was the day that was set aside where you could actually do your hair. It was a time where actual grooming rituals were born, and also a way to figure out how to care for hair that could last for an entire week. You weren't going to be able to do anything until the next Sunday.
And the hairstyle also became kind of like a secretive messaging system between the slaves. It represented coded messages of maps to freedom. For example, the number of plaits worn could indicate how many roads people needed to walk or where to meet someone to escape bondage. In Louisiana in 1786, there was a law that was passed that basically all African American women, whether they were slaves or freed, had to wear a headdress to cover their hair. This was called the Tillon Law. The reason why this law was created was that the white women were basically being threatened, feeling threatened by the beauty of the African American women. They saw that the white, French, Spanish men desired these enslaved women because they were naturally beautiful, so they wanted a way to kind of take that beauty away from them. But even with the headdresses, the black women still found a way to make it a style of their own. They added ribbons, jewelry, color, and it's still a style today when women wear head wraps. Even during the times of slavery, African American women did their best to try to hold on to their African ancestry and traditions.
During the Great Migration, as a lot of black people were leaving the South and moving to northern cities, braided hair on adults was seen as this country, old-fashioned way of styling hair. And the idea is that if you're moving to the city, if you wanted hair that looked cosmopolitan and sophisticated. And for women, that meant straight hair. So there was a moving away of braided hair because you didn't look cityfied.
It wasn't until the Black Power movement where black women rejected Eurocentric beauty standards and they wanted to return back to their roots. And again, white women see these beautiful black women, expressing themselves and loving themselves. So of course they have to steal that for their own, but they never give the credit to the black women that originated the hairstyle. They would call them anything related to white culture, like boxer braids or Bo Derek braids, to imply that the style was originated by white women. You're erasing somebody's culture and history by imitating that style and calling it something else. When white females wore cornrows and braids, they were called beautiful and cutting edge. But when black women wore that style, they were called unprofessional and ghetto. And there's countless examples of black women being fired, denied a job or education, or being pulled to the side by their manager and being threatened over their natural hair.
In August of 2018, Louisiana sixth grader Faith Finity was kicked off school grounds because her braided hair violated school policy. A few months later, a wrestling official told New Jersey high school athlete Andrew Johnson he had to cut his locks in order to compete. And most recently, Dallas teen Kerryon Washington was turned away from a job fair at Six Flags in March because of his, quote, extreme hairstyle.
White girls only found out about wigs when Kylie Jenner started wearing wigs, and she makes a living off of copying black women. Black women have been having to deal with wigs and painfully chemically straightening their hair from childhood because they are born into a society that tells them that their natural hair is ugly and nappy and unprofessional and distracting. But when they wear those wigs, they're also mocked for it.
But as I went on into middle school, like different boys would say that my hair was nappy and like say that it was like too puffy. Say that I was ugly because my hair was natural.
A mother in South Philadelphia says her 8-year-old daughter is a victim of school bullies who cut the child's hair. Yamina Zaire says her daughter Amina has been repeatedly bullied at Commodore John Barry Elementary School for more than a year. She says it reached a new level yesterday when Amina came home from school with a large patch of hair missing from the back of her head.
My hair was in a twist out. It was very, very big and very voluptuous. And she was just saying, it's just such a mess. She's like, it's just so dirty. And she's talking about my hair.
Mama had been talking about my hair. And this boy called me a nappy head thought.
And I was, I think 10 or 11. He always had comments about my hair. Bana. It's actually like a way to tease you and bully you.
Only in July of this year, 2019, California became the first state to ban employers and school officials from discriminating against people based on their natural hair. This law makes it illegal to enforce dress code or grooming policies against hairstyles such as afros, braids, twists, and locks. And then New York made the same ban following California. But these are the two most liberal states in America. Imagine what it's like growing up with natural hair in a place like Texas or Alabama. Your hair is part of your identity, and still this year, Black people are forced to give that up to assimilate to white culture. And I know I'm focusing on hair in this video, but it's not just hair. It's style, it's the way you talk, it's the way you walk. I completely agree that would be out of line and cultural appropriation if I was trashing Black girls for wearing braids, then getting them, but that's not the situation at all. No, sweetie, you wearing the hairstyle period is cultural appropriation. And you threatening to talk shit on Black women who wear braids means that you're willing to, and you probably already do. Your hair isn't meant for braids and cornrows. Like, that's just a fact. It's too thin for it, and just because somebody's calling you out on it doesn't mean they're being disrespectful, and it definitely doesn't give you the right to talk shit. I understand that Danielle is just a 16-year-old child and there's a lot for her left to learn, but there's so many grown white people that think the way that she does and even make a living off of their ignorance. They use Black people for their style, creativity, beauty, but they don't care about the people themselves and the struggles that they've been facing. What bothers me even more is that there's people from the Black community that agree with Danielle and think the same way, and they co-sign for the things that she does. I mean, she has over 17 million Instagram followers. I know that some Black women and men don't care that non-black women culturally appropriate. Meanwhile, other black women just want the credit where it's due. But for me personally, if you're not black, you could never pull that hairstyle off, and you just look stupid as hell in braids and cornrows. And I'll be giving you the side eye if I ever see you try. Girl, bye. Guys, I'm sorry I haven't been posting. For those of you that are sticking around till the end of this video, I'm sorry I haven't been posting. I've been wanting to, but I haven't really felt motivated to post anything. I've been working a lot at my job, and it's really tiring me physically, and I've been kind of going back into depression lately because I've been feeling really stuck in life, and so I haven't really been like emotionally or mentally motivated to really do anything. But I want to make more videos. I just have a hard time like getting the motivation, feeling inspired to talk about anything, because kind of everything that I talk about my channel is depressing. So it kind of makes it even worse. But I miss you guys. I miss hearing your feedback. I miss feeling like I'm doing something that's actually worthwhile with my life. If you have ideas that you want me to talk about, leave them in the comments or message me. Hopefully I'll be able to get around to making more videos. And if you're still subscribed, thank you. I genuinely appreciate you and your support. I've been debating on if I should make like a personal, just like a venting video where I just talk to you guys about personal stuff, but I don't know if it doesn't really fit in with the rest of my channel, so I don't know if that would be kind of weird. But I don't know, it depends on what you guys want to see. But if you guys would be interested in that, let me know, because I can. And until the next video,